Hi everyone, this is Ronnie from UK Fruit Fest, and I want to talk to you today about something that gets me kind of frustrated a little bit. Sorry, just trying to position this good. Okay, and I've been speaking to some people recently, and conversations come up, and you kind of get inspired to address things that you can't maybe say to the person at the time and just say you're wrong or whatever. You can't just say that, but you think about it and you go, I'd like to try and put this information together, because what happens, what I've heard 3 or 4 times, and I can definitely think of 3 times I've heard it, and it's always been from men that have said it. And I've probably heard it more than this, but I can think of 3 times, and it's related to people that have attended either one of the fruit festivals or one of these events, and the same. It's always about. It's usually in relation to Doug Graham, right? So, talking a little bit about Doug. If you don't know who he is, he wrote a book called The 80-10-10 Diet, and it's really a very influential book in the raw vegan movement, right? And Doug speaks, has done a lot of speeches in his life, spoke at a lot of events, and really he kind of was quite responsible for building up this kind of raw vegan diet, where it's fruit-based diet, because he spoke so much at so many events for many, many years. And then his book came out, and so there was a lot of people interested in getting his book. And anyway, but he's spoken at UK Fruit Fest, so I've heard people a couple of times where they've said, once you've heard Doug speak, you don't need to hear him again, or there's only so many times I can hear Doug say the same things, right? So a lot of people have said stuff like that to me, and one guy, I was thinking about going to one of Doug's seminars, and he said, haven't you heard of him enough, right? And I see it in the behaviour of people, like at certain events where I would see people go to one of his talks and then not go to any others, or go to a couple of his talks one year and then never go and see any of his lectures again. And that was curious to me. When I first went to Woodstock, it was so obvious to me that he was the best speaker. He was so head and shoulders above everyone else. Maybe that was just the time or the person I was, or I connected with him or something. But to me, it was so clear that his information, his presentation ability, everything was better. Now, I don't know if he's always better. Maybe sometimes he's not as good or whatever. But some people don't get on with him, don't like his energy, don't like how he comes across. So they have issues with him. But I'm curious as to this thing of people saying, once you've heard this guy once, you don't need to hear him again. Oh, I've heard him talk before, I've already heard his information, I already know it all, and all that stuff. None of those people that said that to me, not one of them successfully was on a raw vegan diet. Not one of them. They were all interested in doing it at one point. It was their goal to go 100% raw at one point. None of them did it. And all these people act like, yeah, I know all that information, I get it all. And then they talk so much nonsense about nutrition and health and fitness and all these things. And I'm like, they've completely not taken in the information properly. They don't understand it. They don't understand the basics of this whole thing. Just a lot of stuff. They don't get it, right? But they have the kind of arrogance to say, I've heard that guy, I know all this stuff, I've read his book, I get all that. They haven't really got it, right? They haven't really learned it. And the thing that's a bit different about myself, there's a couple of things that I was going to say, but one of the things is, I know that you don't get everything just by reading one book. And you don't get it all just by hearing it once. that it takes repeated exposure to information to really take it in. It takes repeated exposure. And so when I get excited and interested about something, I watch things over and over again. And I look at different perspectives again and again and again. Whereas so many people they hear a little bit from one person, they want to hear from someone else, they want to hear from someone else, they want to hear all like a million different perspectives. And you would be much better finding one person and focusing on their work, their information, and seeing it again and again. And the amount of people in this movement, raw vegan movement, who would be in such a better place if they studied Doug's information and studied his philosophy and outlook is massive. And time again, when I see the people that have really got this and are really doing it, and the people that really, really get it, it's the people that have been around Doug and Rosalind and Grant Campbell and Ted Carr and people like that have really got this and have learned a lot from Doug. So it's kind of about your approach to the whole thing. So when I hear people talking about detoxes, cleanses, lymphatic system drainage, kidney filtration, and all this stuff, I'm like, I already know that there's something fundamentally wrong about that approach. It's the approach, it's the principle of it that's incorrect. To think about it in that way, to think about it as I'm going to eat food and that's going to clear my kidneys or something, that's fundamentally wrong. That's wrong, right? To think that I'm going to do a detox or a cleanse or I need to cleanse everything, that's wrong, fundamentally. And these people don't understand how the body works. So raw food gurus over the years have said things. They don't understand nutrition fully and they don't understand how the body works. Then a lot of people will say, oh, Doug's not a doctor or Doug's not this or that. But Doug's understanding of the body and understanding of nutrition is more than any doctor that you'll ever meet, really. Doctors don't study nutrition generally unless they study it in their own time, and they don't fully understand how nutrition and food causes disease. They don't see that connection. So the idea that someone's not a doctor, and a doctor is an intelligent person, someone that's hardworking, can study, can learn stuff, can analyse, has a lot of information about disease and illness, and knows a lot of how to diagnose things and various treatments and all this. But they've not studied that particular thing. So if they don't believe in that, they're not going to be able to help you. And it's a real problem because they basically have the monopoly on helping people with their health issues. And they are ignorant of this basic stuff, which is really sad to me. It's really sad because people will listen to them over listening to common sense, you know. So, but yeah, I get frustrated with all these people out there, and some of you comment below my videos, and I'm like, these people think they know more than I do, right? And so maybe some of you do, right? Maybe some of you do, but I can tell sometimes by the comment that your approach is incorrect, your philosophy is incorrect, your principle is incorrect. So it's all, you know, I don't know why I say that, but I'm just saying you need to have the right approach. You need to, when like this, the guy said to me, he was talking about how, yeah, well, you can listen to Doug one time, you've heard him many times or whatever. Yeah, you listen to him once, I don't really need to hear him again. And then in the same sentence he was saying, oh yeah, I'm now eating a higher protein diet or something, or I'm eating beans for protein or something, or I'm eating something for protein. And I'm like, well, that statement alone makes me know he doesn't know anything, he doesn't understand this fully. If you're eating something for protein, you don't get it. You don't get it. If you're eating something for fat or for carbohydrates, you do not understand this yet. You are complicating this way too much. You eat whole foods, and whole foods have all of those macronutrients in them. And if you eat the correct whole foods, which are fruits and leafy greens, you will get all of those macronutrients in the ratio that is correct for your body as long as you eat enough calories. It's really simple, right? And for all the people that want to complicate it and talk about deficiencies and things like that, they just haven't got it yet, or they've lost it and they had it at one time, or they got scared about it or something. But when people say, "Oh, I've listened to that once," I just don't like that comment that I hear. "Oh, I've heard him speak before. I don't need to hear him again," right? I'm telling you, all the people that decided not to listen to Doug, who decided not to buy into his mindset and his ideas, none of them stuck to a raw vegan diet. Almost none of them did. It was always the people that really studied with him, learned from him, developed his mindset, read the book. They had more success, and it doesn't happen from watching one lecture and go, "Yeah, I understand that 80-10-10, 80% fruit, 10% nuts," or something. That's what people go away from it thinking they don't understand it yet. So that's just a thought. But when it comes to this stuff, don't think you know it all just by watching one video, reading one book, going to one fruit festival or one lecture. Keep taking it in, keep thinking about it, because if I was to sit with you and ask you questions on it, I'm not sure you could explain it to me. I'm not sure you could really explain it to me. And that would be interesting. But yeah, listen, I'm not saying you shouldn't comment below this video, but sometimes your approach isn't right, and you need to get, that's the biggest thing that I got from Doug, was the approach to thinking about this, how you think. He's actually said that one time. He says, "I'm not trying to tell you what to think, I'm trying to show you how to think about this." And when you learn how to think about it, you basically come to the same kind of conclusions that he has. And it's so simple and obvious that you can't ever give yourself an excuse, or you can't come up with a reason to not do this diet when you know how to think about it correctly, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out, to be honest. Like, I don't really mean that as I'm not really annoyed at these people, but it's, people don't want to hear certain people because they're talking the truth, and they're not ready for the truth yet, and they don't want to change, and they don't want to give up the cooked food, and they don't want to hear someone tell them that, that it's whatever. So, and I've got friends as well that don't want to hear me. They don't want to they'll either unsubscribe from this or won't follow Instagram or whatever, because I'm talking about the raw food stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching. I've actually released this book called The 11 Principles. We'll talk about principles of raw vegan success. There's a link below. You can go and get that. It's a free book. If you're in Glasgow, we will be starting back the raw food support group, the raw vegan support group, whatever you want to call it. And we'll be doing some talks and having different things over the course of the year. And that'll be fun. So go below. Once again, you can put your name on our mailing list. And if you're interested in the UK Fruit Fest, to come along and learn and be part of this community. From the 21st to the 28th of July, Fruit Fest will happen this year at Croft Farm Water Park, Tewkesbury, Gloucestershire. It's actually going to be over 8 days this time. You can choose a 5-day option if you want to come for the first 5 days, but we've got the 8-day option if you're interested in that, which would be great. And you can use my code RONSTER to get a 10% discount. And prices will rise on the 31st of January. Some of our accommodations already sold out, some of the types of accommodation. We have some other accommodation left. And we're probably going to be mostly sold out by the end of January, maybe into February kind of time. So it's a good opportunity to sign up early-ish where the prices are still a bit lower. So thank you very much for watching the video. Comment below, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.